A friend of mine asked something yesterday that I haven't been able to stop thinking about, or at least I thought about it throughout the night. It kind of just kept me wondering. She said, how do you know you're hearing God? How do you know you're hearing God? And so I told her, I know I'm hearing God because I had this relationship with him for over 20 years. And I've heard God, but I mostly communicate with the Lord. He's the one that I always walk with and meditate and pray. And I go back and forth with God, but actually like hearing, seeing, smelling, actually I don't really think I smell his presence. I just feel it. I hear it. I know it. And that's just something I cultivated over time, and he didn't always show up as the being or the person that I could see and hear. He started off as just images and dreams, kind of introducing himself to me in a way that was comfortable and at a pace that I was comfortable with. Now, fast forward to today, and in meditation, or just whenever I close my eyes, every night, every morning, I just talk to him like my friend, talk about things, ask him other questions, and I wait for the answer. And when I see him like life size. Like I close my eyes and I feel like he's right there and he's like right next to me. Where before he would introduce himself, I would see his foot, his hand, or his sandal. That's after introducing himself little by little in images or cards or paintings and pictures. In dreams, I would start feeling him or get chills, or I'd hear just one word, and then I'd see him or his hand, and I just knew it was him. And it's more just a relationship that I created. So if someone's looking for a method or a technique, it's more of a knowing, or it started off with a knowing. It's just an innate, intuitive knowing without a shadow of a doubt, because there is just no energy like God's energy. There is no energy like Jesus' energy. It's just completely different. I have angels, I have guides around me, archangels and saints and masters and all these different councils of light and all these different multi-dimensional beings and everything. And it's not the same as when God shows up. And it's different for everybody, because some people are busy trying to hear God and they're missing that they're feeling God, or that God is showing up in subtle ways in their environment. Maybe they saw the word God, or a song, or a license plate, or overheard something on TV, or right when they needed to, God letting them know that he's watching, or he's there right next to them. And some people are so busy trying to see God that they miss that they're hearing God. And it's not always clear. It's not always clear. Sometimes it's a whole conversation. Sometimes it's one word. Sometimes the word is fuzzy. Sometimes it's a few words or a statement that just kind of like you hear the words, or this is me, when I'll hear the words and I'll feel them simultaneously. So it's like a feeling, a knowing, and it's like a power. It's like a different kind of energy for me. But some people don't see him. They don't see God. They don't see Jesus, or they don't think they do, because they don't know what they're looking for, because sometimes it's just really subtle. And they're missing because they're too busy trying to see, they're trying to hear. Maybe they're smelling him and they don't realize they're smelling him. Maybe they smell incense or a different energy, or they're feeling him. They're getting tingles when they're thinking about something or worried about something or praying about something, or when, God is just trying to show that he's there. They might feel something in their heart. Sometimes I'll just feel the Lord come in my heart, and I just feel this energy in my heart, and I'll want to cry because I'll feel his love and his support so deeply. And it's just something that different people experience differently, but it still comes with a knowing. You might not remember, or I might not remember everything, God or the Lord said at different times in my life, or I'll forget it as fast as I heard it. But I always know it's him, because it's the knowing, it's the feeling, the gut feeling, the intuition, without a shadow of a doubt, that was God. It's the voice, it's the sound, but for me, I'm very blessed in the fact that I can hear God. I can hear Jesus. I can see the Lord. I could feel the Lord. I could feel the Holy Spirit. But this also didn't happen overnight. I've been doing this for a couple of decades, and it's just practicing using my intuition, my discernment, my having patience. And some people, they just feel God or the Lord, or hear him once or see him once, and that moment when they actually experience the Lord or God in a certain way, that elevates their faith, and that energy and that power just sustains them, or that love that they felt, or that support. That guys, they feel that, and they always could go back, and it's almost like they remember, like, God is real, the Lord is real. I know because I felt him, or I saw him, or I had this dream, or out of body experience, or this near death thing, or this visit, or whatever it was, an apparition. Like some people just, I don't know who I heard it from, someone online the other day. Some lady was saying she was an atheist, and first she's like, God, if you're real, show yourself to me. And she said she said that or prayed that or requested that for 3 months straight, and finally she saw Jesus in her apartment or whatever, through the window with his arms stretched out. And now she's a believer in God. Now she's a believer in Jesus. And she was an atheist. So God will show up. The Lord will show up. You will be able to experience him. If you are not already, you're just not realizing it, because sometimes it is so subtle. It's not an earthquake or a tornado, like this big boom, 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 here it's me, it's God, And maybe it is too. Maybe that is what you will see. Maybe you'll see Jesus in front of you out the window. But there's so many stories from so many different people, and they all experience it in their own way. But for me, to answer my friend, mine was a relationship that I cultivated over the years. And it started with a knowing. It started with the dreams. It started with trusting. And I would still sometimes go, are you, Lord, is that you? Are you sure it's you? Give me another word. Show me your face. Because, I would second guess myself. I would doubt, because I was still strengthening my faith. But just like your mother, your father, your spouse, you know what they look like, what they sound like. I know the sound of my husband walking or walking up the stairs. I hear the heaviness of the feet, or your kids. You notice maybe the pace or the weight of their feet when you hear them walking, or your animals. Maybe you have a few dogs. You know which dog is coming. You don't even have to see them because you know how they walk. You know how they sound. If it was dark out and someone was walking in, you would know their silhouette. Like, that's my husband, that's my kid, that's my cat, that's my dog. You would just know it. Or you would smell them, you would feel them. There's so many ways because you know them. You spot them in a car next to you. Go, oh, that was so-and-so in the car if it was a friend. You're in a crowded restaurant or a mall or something and you see someone down there and you recognize them because you know how they move, their hair, the way they dress. You're like, I think that was so-and-so down there. Or I think that's, whoever, your best friend, I think she went into that store. And maybe it was just a quick glimpse, but you just know and you feel like, yeah, and you go over there and sure enough, it's your friend or your family member. So it's the same thing with God, with the Lord, with the archangels, with Mother Mary, with any of your spiritual family that you want to connect with. But that's what it is with my story. It's not a technique. It was more patience and learning to trust my intuition, learning to trust when I couldn't fully see the Lord. But now I see him, and now he went from me closing my eyes and almost like watching a movie of us walking together, side by side, shoulder to shoulder, going up the stairs. We always go upstairs. Now the stairs look different. Now it's almost like if you zoomed in on a map, like on Google Maps or Google Earth, something like you zoom in, everything gets bigger, bigger, bigger. So throughout time, throughout the years, throughout the development of my intuition and my, raising my frequency and vibration to connect and be more aligned with God and the energy, of the Lord, the more I prayed, the more I communicated every day, not just in prayer, not just in when there's trauma or when I need help or something bad's happening or someone's help, just everyday conversation like I would talk to my friend or my family member. But but I do have a lot of questions, so I'm always asking, God, what does this mean? God, what does that mean? Lord, what is this? Lord, what is that? What does this mean? If I hear things from other people, I'm like, Lord, is this for me? Does this make sense for me? Or do I just disregard it? Is this true? They're saying this about the person or the Bible or scripture. Is this true, Lord? So I always run it through my filter with the Lord. That's how I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? Does this matter in my life? Does this matter for me? Do I need to think about this, worry about this? Do I need to share this? It's an endless day of conversation in my head with the Lord, with some prayer for myself, my family, my friends, and people I don't know and strangers that I haven't met yet. I'm constantly praying. And I heard recently to also pray for yourself, which that's a new thing because I always usually pray for everyone else, but don't necessarily pray for me because, felt like I was, I don't know, it just felt weird. But now I'm trying to learn to do that for myself. So maybe that's a message for you too, that it's okay to pray for yourself, not just for your health, but for your joy and your happiness and to see beauty and have supernatural favor in your life, or supernatural confidence or clarity or discernment, supernatural discernment. So you know what's good, what's right, what's wrong for your life. If you need to act, take action, if you need to rest, all that stuff. Because sometimes we get in our heads like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. And sometimes I'm like, Lord, is it okay to rest? Because I am tired. And you do have to rest, Sometimes you are in a time of your life where you need to go within, and start reflecting on your life, and kind of the way you think, your beliefs. Do I still believe that? Is that still true? Is that still me? Because we change, we evolve. And 20 years ago, I didn't have the same relationship with God, with the Lord, that I do now. And so now I see things and feel things differently, and I make decisions differently. And I'm learning not to worry or overthink as much, because when I'm honest with myself, the Lord was with me through the good, through the bad, through the sad, through the grief, through the sorrow, through the betrayals, through trauma, through abuse. He was with me through it all, whether I realized it or not. Looking back, I could see the thread. I could see the Lord in everything I went through, and why I went through it, and what I had to learn. And I'm still learning. I'm like, okay, Lord, why am I going through this right now? Why am I feeling this? What am I not seeing? What is the lesson? And can the lessons be easier and maybe funnier and not hard at all? Just easy lessons? Please, Lord. So prayers are just different now. Conversations are different. My thoughts are different. The way I move is different. My intentions are different. And they're all rooted in the Lord. So if there is a tree, and the tree is all the things I do now, from my podcasts to the music I create for the Lord, through the instrumentals, through writing books, through even my intentions and my prayers, they're all rooted. The roots to my tree of what I'm doing right now, of the fruit this tree is starting to bear, it's all rooted in God, in joy, in love. And that's where all my stuff is coming from. It's coming from deep, it's coming from within, and the decisions I make now are, Lord, is this right for me and the people that it will reach? What do you want me to talk about, Lord? How do you want me to move? And I have free will, and He's told me many times, in different ways, that I could make decisions without Him, because then I got through a point that I'm like, I can't make any decision without asking, running through the Lord. And that's not true, because then you're feeling stifled sometimes, or like you have to ask for permission. So I went through that little phase too, and the Lord let me off the hook. He's like, you are free to choose without me. And that lifted burdens I did not know I had, lifted weight off my shoulders I did not know I was carrying, because I started focusing so much in the other direction that it felt unhealthy, because I felt like I could not move, I couldn't take action, because I had to run everything through the Lord. But now I trust that I'll run things by Him, but I could also choose to do anything, and the Lord's still going to be there. God's still going to be with me. But if I do hear something very specific, like go this way, not that way, and that's a different story when I'm flat out getting a real answer, because I've learned too, if I ask and it is given, and I do the opposite direction, or I don't do anything, then I have probably a little bit more learning to do, and little lessons that I need to get through. So, I don't know how you hear the Lord. I don't know when you'll hear the Lord. I don't know how many times. I don't know if you're going to hear Him in your heart, if you're going to feel Him, if you're going to have Him in dreams or visions or in your external world. But I know He shows Himself, even in church. He'll show me Him behind the priest. It'll like He's merged with the priest, or with the people that are, because I go to Catholic church, so when they're giving out communion, it's not just a priest giving out communion, it's the other, there's always handful of people. So the Lord will show me that He's working through them. Or He'll show me sitting with people. Or sitting with people when they're praying on the couch alone in their house when they're worried about stuff. And He'll give me messages, and He's asked me many times, if I give you messages, please give the people a message just the way I said it. And that's overwhelming sometimes, but when I realize sometimes they're just one or two words, or a quick statement, but it's something they needed to hear at that moment, at that time. So I'm having more faith in the Lord, and I'm trying to get myself out of the way and trying to be faithful when it comes to delivering the messages to the people when I hear to deliver the message. But it's going to be different for everyone. I hope you could experience God, the Lord, when you're ready, when He's ready to give you a message or a feeling. But I could almost bet, if I was able to bet, if I was into that you are already experiencing Him, you just don't realize it yet. And sometimes it's just making the time, the silence. Sometimes you're in the car, you have the radio on all the time, or the news or music playing. Even in the car line, you got the radio on, or you're on the phone, or you're scrolling. So you're not listening. You're not quiet, Or when you're walking, you got headphones and you're listening to a podcast or music. And hey, I want you to listen to my podcast, but I also want you to experience the Lord. So maybe take some time not to put in the headphones. Or maybe you need to, like some of all the songs that I've written with Him, I hear Him better when I have the songs in. But it depends what you're listening to. Like if you're looking for the Lord, He will find you. He will speak to you in the way that He knows you will be able to connect. So right now, just maybe close your eyes or take a deep breath. Don't force anything, no expectations, and say, Lord, can you come close to me right now so I could sense you? If you want me to see you, feel you, smell you, however you want to show up. And just breathe. Notice what you're sensing. Or ask Him, come close, come into my heart right now. Let me get to know you. You might not feel, see, smell anything at all. You might just know He's there. You might feel a little pressure on your head, in your heart, different places. So try different things. See what works for you. Be open. And I hope you are able to experience Him in your own way, in your own time. All glory to God. Thank you for being here, trusting me with your energy. Bye for now.